You are now watching Slag Jagger.
Hey guys, I make video game content now. I'm not counting Sonic Colors, and I'm not counting the DS port because kill yourself. I've seen a lot of people recently do rankings of the 2D Mario games, and it's got me wondering, why hasn't this been done with Sonic? My best guess is because the 2D Sonics are very messy and they're all varying levels of quality. There's also stuff like Generations or Colors that are widely debated on in the Sonic community on whether they're 2D or 3D. Also, ranking Sonic is scary, and I feel like I'm gonna get killed if I say anything bad. Why am I doing this again? Good question. The tier list template I used included Sonic Colors and Generations, so I just put them in the not a 3D game tier. And there's also another tier that is for not real games, but these games are 2D. In not a real game tier, we have Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure, and Sonic 8-Bit, and Sonic 2 8-Bit. None of these games are real. Go die. D tier is filled with the entirety of Sonic 4, and honestly, all of these are interchangeable for me. The Sonic 4 games are just really forgettable and not fun to play, and I don't like them. I think the only plus is that this game looks good visually, and is very overhated in the visual department. It looks like the Telltale Texas Hold'em game, sure, but it has its charm. Also, I like the Telltale Texas Hold'em game. I think it's kind of cute. At the bottom of C tier, we have Sonic Triple Trouble and Sonic Blast. All the Game Gear games are just really ugly, and I don't like it. Like, they look like fan-made games on Scratch. Also, Triple Trouble's soundtrack genuinely hurts my ears. They're probably good Sonic games, they're just ugly, and therefore I can't play them for too long. Sonic Rush Adventure is also on here because it's a really forgettable sequel. It's just Sonic Rush, but stylized to look more like Sonic Adventure. Also, a chunk of this game is 3D, kind of. Not as much as Colors or Generations, but I still feel like it doesn't really fit on this list. I just put it on there because it's Sonic Rush. I put Flicky on this list as well because I thought it would be funny. Flicky is surprisingly a really addictive and like fun arcade game, and I actually ended up playing it for like 2 hours, but also it would be really insulting to put Flicky any higher. There's like some little kid who's taking this list really seriously, and they're mad that I put Flicky above Sonic Blast. Ugh. Cherry Pepsi tastes really good. At the bottom of B tier, we have Sonic 2. This is a great game, don't get me wrong, but it has the Mario Lost Levels issue where it's just more of the first game. Like, it's fun and all, but it doesn't do anything to differentiate itself other than just having Tails and Supersonic. Why does it smell like body odor in here? Oh, hey Axel. I don't feel like talking about Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I have to take my dog out for a piss. So, could you take over for me here? Thanks.
Every 2D Sonic game ranked, and Axel, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Knuckles. You can see how I'm inspired by that title. Sonic 3 was released in 1994, and, in my opinion, it's the best 2D Sonic game. If this tier list was up to me, I would have put this in S tier 5 times over. I have a shirt of this game. I mean, seriously, you can't deny the iconic zones it has. Angel Island, Hydro City, Marvel Garden, Carnival Night, Ice Cap, Launch Base, and then you can attach the cartridge in the cartridge! Introducing Knuckles. He's supposed to be an echidna, but I'll refer to him as a hedgehog based off of this Reddit post I found. Robotnik crash lands on Angel Island and manipulates the shit out of him into being his lackey. He just jugs Sonic out of his emeralds, and the whole game is you as Sonic trying to get them back. The gameplay is smooth, and you never get bored of the zones, because they all have consistent quality, which is something that Sonic 1 lacks. The art style was tweaked, so it makes the game feel less dated. It introduced the new elemental shields, Hypersonic, the ability to save your game, even though CD did it first, we don't really talk about that. More character options, all this game is great. But B tier, it isn't too horrendous, I'm not gonna complain. I'll hand it back to Slag Jagger for the rest of the videos on this list. By the way, sleep with one eye open. Why the fuck did you put Sonic 3 in B tier? I'm tired of acting like I'm not mad about it.
Hi, I'm back. I'm covered in piss. The Sonic Advance trilogy is up next, and it's the same thing as the Sonic 4 games, where it's just interchangeable. The only difference is that these games are good. They're really nice and stylized, and are honestly way better than the Mario Advance games, because these are their own original thing. At the top of B tier, we have Sonic Superstars. This game is honestly great, and I loved playing it with my dad when it first came out. However, the lack of updates adding new skins always annoyed me, because now there's just LEGO variants of every character, and then Sonic, but he's Santa Claus, or Shadow, or whatever. And it just feels out of place. A tier only has one game, and it's Sonic Rush. Sonic Rush is an absolutely fantastic game with a great art style and a banger soundtrack. and the introduction of Blaze the Cat, one of my favorite characters. And if you're wondering why Blaze the Cat is one of my favorite characters, one word. Pyrokinesis. How would you like to have that superpower? I mean, Blaze could play around the Himalayas for hours and she would be perfectly fine. Also, 45-degree ponytail makes her look like a Native American. We finally made it to S tier. These are what are, in my opinion, the best 2D Sonic games, even though I do believe that basically every single one of them is good except for Sonic 4 and the Game Gear games. At the bottom of S tier, we have Sonic the Hedgehog. Not only is it a great introduction to the series, but it's also one of the most iconic video games of all time. Everything about this game is iconic and memorable. The soundtrack is banging, I've memorized all the zones from the top of my head, it has some great boss fights, and it's a great way of introducing people to this franchise. Next, we have Sonic CD. This game is just amazing. This game is so timeless and iconic that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is going to be an adaptation of it for some reason, despite Sonic 3 being an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2. Whatever, I'm thinking too hard. The Eggman theme in this game gives me chills and it made me poop my pants. Metal Sonic is actually really lame, but he has aura and that's all that matters. I've watched like 2 animes in my life, but if we counted Sonic CD, then I'd say that's my favorite. Also, the time travel gimmick is pretty awesome, even if it's hard to use sometimes. Sonic Mania is my number 2 spot because it takes the classic Sonic formula and it proves it in every single way. It looks better, it feels better, it's more fast-paced, and best of all, it's so freaking retro. This game feels like a love letter to Sonic in every way possible, and I adore it so much. It's like 3 AM and I'm kicking my feet and giggling at the thought of Casino Night Zone right now. I really like Sonic Mania. And the number 1 best 2D Sonic game is Eggman's Mean Bean Machine. This game is just wow. It has an addicting gameplay loop and it takes Puyo Puyo Tetris to the extreme. It's not just a Tetris ripoff, it's a whole experience. And honestly, that's why it works so well. This game is the Paul Blart Mall Cop of Sonic games. It is truly beautiful and angelic experience that will allow you to transcend reality. So, that's all I guess. Every 2D Sonic game. Honestly, after binging all these games, I can kind of see why nobody ranks these. There's a lot of garbage in here, but once you get to the good stuff, it gets really good. I don't know what the takeaway from this video should be, other than play Sonic Mania.